We are witnessing history right now with Jeremiah Smith. Name to me a better freshman season that you've seen than Jeremiah Smith is having this year for Ohio State. This guy has 70 catches, 1,224 yards, and 14 TDs, and just had 2 touchdowns, 170 yards, and like 8 catches against Oregon in the college football playoff blowout. He was clearly all day the best player on the field. We watched him get double teamed. We watched them try to shadow him. Nope. He was looking amazing out there. I'm just trying to think of a better freshman season that I've seen. And there's only one guy that comes to mind. And I'm talking about true freshmen. We're not talking about freshman redshirt. I know Jameis Winston won championship as freshman redshirt and Heisman. I know Johnny Manziel did the same thing. No. I'm talking about true freshman just out of high school. There's one other guy, and his name is Maurice Clarett, another Ohio State great. And as we can remember, he led them to the national championship. And he was amazing, one of the best seasons I've ever seen. But I don't think he's Jeremiah Smith. I think Jeremiah Smith is a generational talent. I think he's better than all the rest of the receivers that have come out of Ohio State. I think he will go down as the best receiver in Ohio State history. I think he's going to break all the receiving records. I think he's better than Harrison Jr. I think he's better than Garrett Wilson. I think he's better than Chris Olave. I think he's better than Smith and Jigba. This kid is the truth. When you see him play and you see him run his routes and you see his speed and you see his power and you see him double teamed and he goes up and he gets a catch over 2 people in the playoff game multiple times because he's getting double covered, but it doesn't matter. That's special. He told them before the game, he said, he's always open. Just throw him the ball. Nobody can guard him. And I believe him. There's no one in the nation that can guard this kid. This kid is he's going to be the next great thing. And when we watched him play all year, it was like from the first game, he impacted the game. Like he had 100 yards his first game. He was looked like a man among boys, and he's only 18 years old. If he could go to the NFL right now, I believe he would be a top 5 pick. I believe that he would go before a lot of these so-called generational Colorado guys, Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward. I think he's better than all of them. I think he would go number 1 overall. That's how special this kid is. That's how special his game is. When you see a receiver like this, they only come around once every 10, 15 years. Yeah, I know Ryan Williams is a freshman too. But also, to me, Ryan Williams, he's not on this kid's level. Jeremiah Smith is even above him. He's even a next level of him. And he's at the perfect school for it. To me, he's at wide receiver U. I know people are going to say, oh, LSU. Oh, we're receiver U. It's close. But I'm going to go number 1 for receiver U is Ohio State University. I'll go number 2 for receiver U as LSU. It's close. LSU always has good receivers. They always get drafted in the pros. But this run that Ohio State is on with receivers, going back like the last 10 years, it's amazing. It's something we've never seen before. Every single year they have a first-round receiver. I know we saw it at Alabama for a while when they had Judy, when they had DeVonta Smith, when they had Ruggs, when they had Waddle. And yeah, that was amazing when they had Julio Jones. But I feel like the run that Ohio State is on with these receivers has gone even longer than that. It's gone even more time. And they have, on top of that, an offense that is perfect to highlight receivers. So every year when they get the number 1 receiver out of high school, it's for a reason. It's because they have the best receiver coach in Brian Hartline. And then on offense, Ryan Day calls amazing plays for them to run to where receivers are going to want to come there. You look at this. This guy got 70 catches this year, 14 touchdowns. They throw to their receivers. They get the receivers involved. You're going to go to Ohio State as a receiver, you're going to get the ball, and you're going to get the ball a lot, and you're going to learn a bunch of route combos, and you're going to learn how to be the best possible receiver you can be. And it really shows. Ohio State, the coach is Brian Hartline, the receiver coach, and he was a 4-year guy at Ohio State, and then he went and played in the pros for a while, for Miami, for I think the Colts too, and he was pretty decent. He was more of a technician, more of a route runner, more of a slot guy. But you see that guys love to play for him. To me, what he's best at is coach. He was even better coach than he was player. And that goes to my theory that I have. So if they hired, let's say, Terrell Owens, he was so great, or Randy Moss, they were so great at their craft that messes them up when they try to coach, because they can't really explain how they did what they did out there on the field, because it was natural talent. It was God-given. But when you got a guy like Brian Hartline, who he had a little bit of natural talent, a little bit of God-given ability, but he's more of a route runner. He's more of a, using his IQ. He's more learn the playbook and get open, find your spot in the zone. Those are going to be the best coaches. Those are going to be the best guys to have on your coaching staff, because one, they've played before, and two, they're very smart. They have a high IQ, and three, they're technically sound. So he's teaching this freshman, Jeremiah Smith, at a young age. He's teaching him how to run the perfect routes. He's teaching him, how to study your playbook. He's teaching him, how to maximize your season by getting him the ball, and getting him the ball early as a true freshman. This is one of my complaints with some other schools I've watched. They don't give the true freshmen opportunities. And then you're like, wow, this guy was a 5-star. Why didn't he get opportunity? And then he transfers after 1 year, and they're like, I don't know why he transferred. Well, it's because you didn't give him an opportunity. And some of these kids, like Jeremiah Smith, Ryan Williams, they need to play right away. They're that good. They're that good that you need to play them right away. Don't care about who's a senior on the team or what their draft projections are. Like Ohio State, they have a receiver named Tate. He's a year older than Jeremiah Smith. He was an amazing 5-star receiver out of high school the year before from Chicago. He's amazing. But you know what happened? He got his spot took by Jeremiah Smith, because Jeremiah Smith is generational. And at Ohio State, if you're generational, if you're an amazing receiver, they play you no matter what. They're not worried about politics. They're not worried about, oh, well, but the senior. No, they're worried about how to win games on the field. Because my favorite team, Florida State, we had the worst receiving core in the nation. And our coach wouldn't even give freshmen opportunities to play, talking about they didn't know the playbook. Tell them to just run a fly. Tell them to just run a slant. It's not that hard to be a receiver, And then when you're on a 2-win team, they couldn't mess anything up anymore. So that's why I really appreciate Ohio State. When they have these generational talents, when they have these guys like this, they get the best out of him. From the first game, they've been throwing this kid the ball, and they let him know from day one, I don't care who's here. Right when you got here and we seen him in spring, this is our number one receiver. Sorry to the other receivers that are, trying to go pro. This is our number one receiver. And they made the right decision. He's amazing. He is amazing. He's going to go down. He has the chance to break, he's only going to play 3 years, but he still has a chance to break a lot of records. And we're going to see him break them. I wish that for guys like this, I really wish they could just go to the NFL after 1 year, because he's already a great receiver. He could definitely dominate in the NFL. I believe he could have had 1,000 yards in the NFL this year. As you can see in the picture, he's already pretty swole. He's a big dude, fast, strong, physical, and he's only 18. So it's not like, oh, keep him out, he's going to get hurt. Those grown men are going to eat him alive. No, this 18-year-old is a grown man, and he's a grown man out there. And we saw the same thing with Ryan Williams, who's 17 and still 17. That's a grown man. He's so fast. He's strong. He's athletic. He doesn't need any of that other time to develop. These two are cases to show sometimes guys are just naturally talented, and they come in developed already at 18, 17, and they could be in the pros, top 10 receivers just off God-given ability. But at least now they're learning routes, they're learning playbooks, they're learning, they'll have 2 more years after this year to really perfect the craft of receiver. And I think they will. I think when they come out, they could possibly be the first receiver duo to go 1-2 because that's how special these two guys are. They're really on a whole nother level. All right, guys, let me know what you think. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It's Bias Sports. I'm out.